The knife tool in Affinity is basically your digital scissors, your shape cutter, your let me chop this object right now tool. And to use it as an absolute beginner, you'll want to start by click and holding the pencil tool and selecting the knife tool from the toolbar, or just press K on your keyboard to activate it instantly. The moment it's active, your cursor turns into a cutting blade that can slice through any shape, line, or curve. And the coolest part is that you don't need to be super precise or skilled. Affinity automatically turns your cutting motion into a clean split. When you drag the knife tool across a shape, you're literally drawing where the cut will happen. And as soon as you release your mouse, the shape immediately breaks into separate vector pieces that you can move, recolor, delete, or edit individually. This alone makes the knife tool incredibly beginner-friendly because you don't have to open complicated menus or understand advanced vector concepts. If you can draw a line, you can cut a shape. Now, as a beginner, you'll probably start by dragging freely with a wiggly hand, and that's totally fine. But if your lines look too shaky or wonky, you should turn on the stabilizer from the context toolbar. The stabilizer basically helps guide your hand so the cut looks cleaner and more intentional. It has two modes: rope mode, which makes it feel like your cutting path is attached to a stretchy rope. This gives you smoother lines, but still lets you create sharp corners if you change direction suddenly. And window mode, which smooths your motion more strongly by averaging your hand movements, giving you a super clean, polished curve even if your hand is unsteady. This is perfect for beginners who want professional-looking results without having perfect control yet. You can also adjust smoothness, which lets you decide whether you want the knife tool to follow your exact movement, jagged edges and all, or whether you want Affinity to automatically smooth out the shakiness. More smoothness makes your cuts look refined, while less smoothness keeps your cuts raw and natural, so beginners can choose whichever style fits their design. If you're not comfortable drawing freehand lines, you can switch to straight line mode on the context toolbar, which forces the knife tool to cut in a perfectly straight line from wherever you click. On top of that, if you hold the Shift key, your straight cuts snap to clean 45-degree angles, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So even if you struggle with straight lines, the software keeps your cuts neat and accurate. This is super useful when you're trying to slice shapes evenly, or when you're designing things like icons, grids, badges, or geometric illustrations. The knife tool also has auto-close options, which control how your cutting path behaves when it comes close to where you started your cut. With auto-close off, the cut stays exactly as you drew it and doesn't close itself. With near and far, the cut will automatically close the shape when your cursor gets near the starting point. How near depends on your chosen setting. And with always, Affinity always closes your cut path no matter what, turning your freehand cut into a complete shape automatically. This is great for beginners who want to isolate certain areas without needing to perfectly connect the ends of their cut. The knife tool also works beautifully with curves, not just shapes. If you drag across a curve, it will slice it into separate curved sections. But if you only want to cut a curve at a single point, you can do what's called a scissor cut. Just hover your knife tool over a curve until you see the little scissors icon, then click. This cuts the curve at exactly that point without dragging. You can do this multiple times to break a curve into multiple smaller sections, and then you can use vector, separate curves, to turn those individual pieces into separate, movable curves. This is perfect for beginners who are learning how vector paths work, because it visually shows you how curves are built. While cutting, you can also temporarily switch between freehand and straight line cuts depending on your device. Holding the Control key converts your freehand stroke into a straight cut as long as the key is held, and holding the right mouse button does the same thing. Release the key or button, and you're back to freehand cutting without switching tools. You can even hold Shift-Alt to force a straight line cut from a fixed position, which is great when splitting symmetrical shapes. After you finish cutting, if you want to edit the edges or adjust the shape of the fragments, simply hold Control-Command to temporarily switch to node tool behavior and drag the nodes to clean up your cut. Super quick and super beginner-friendly. The knife tool is one of the most powerful and forgiving tools for beginners because it doesn't require precision, deep vector knowledge, or complex planning. You can slice objects into custom shapes, carve out letters, cut logos for cool layered effects, remove unwanted parts of illustrations,
create abstract designs, or build complex shapes simply by drawing a line. It's perfect for beginners who want fast, visual hands-on editing without getting overwhelmed. And once you master the knife tool, your vector designing skills instantly feel more professional, more flexible, and way more fun. So if this deep dive helped you out, hit like, smash subscribe, and stay tuned for more beginner-friendly Affinity tutorials designed to make your design journey way easier.